awareness. Start catching the moment you adjust. Do you raise your voice pitch? Change vocabulary. Laugh automatically. Don't judge it. Just notice. Awareness reduces automaticity. Neuroscience shows that when you label a behavior consciously, activity in the amygdala decreases. You interrupt the reflex. Add 2 seconds. Before laughing. Before agreeing. Before softening. This activates the prefrontal cortex, your executive center. You create choice instead of reflex. 2 seconds is enough to shift from survival to intention. Don't start with confrontation. Start small. Express a mild disagreement. Share an honest preference. Admit uncertainty. Each authentic act rewires threat prediction. Your brain updates its model. I can be myself and survive. Neuroplasticity depends on repeated corrective experiences. Tiny risks. Repeated safely. Ask yourself, when did I learn I had to adjust? Was it family? School? Past rejection? Numbing the origin moves the pattern from implicit memory to explicit memory. Once conscious, it loosens. Choose one environment where you commit to minimal performance. A friend. A sibling. An online space. Consistency strengthens identity integration. The brain stabilizes when behavior matches internal state. Imagine you're in a room made of mirrors. Each mirror reflects a slightly different version of you. You walk toward one. You adjust. It changes. You walk toward another. Adjust again. Eventually, you forget what you look like without reflection. Performance is living inside mirrors. Authenticity is turning off a few of them. Not smashing them. Just dimming the lights. Until you can see yourself without distortion. When the reflection's quiet, exhaustion fades. Because your brain no longer has to calculate who to be. You just are. You don't hate people. You hate the version of yourself you feel forced to become around them. There is nothing wrong with your need for space. Your nervous system is asking for coherence. Not isolation. You are allowed to be socially skilled. And still honest. Adaptive. And still grounded. The goal isn't to stop relating. It's to stop rehearsing. Let yourself experiment with being slightly less polished. Slightly less optimized. Slightly less edited. You may discover something unexpected. Most people aren't rejecting you. They were only ever reacting to the performance. And underneath it, you were always enough. You didn't wake up one morning and decide to become a performance. It happened gradually. So gradually that you never questioned it. Visual, child slowly transitioning into teenager, then adult. As a child, you paid attention. You noticed what made adults smile. You noticed what made them withdraw. You noticed when your emotions were too much. And your brain made quiet calculations. If I'm calmer, they stay. If I'm agreeable, things go smoothly. If I don't show this part of me, I'm safer. This is not manipulation. This is adaptation. And adaptation is one of the brain's most powerful survival tools. But what protects you at 7 can imprison you at 27. Psychoanalyst Donald Winnicott described something called the true self and the false self. The true self is spontaneous, unrehearsed. It expresses desire without calculating outcomes. The false self develops when a child learns that certain parts of them are not welcome. When emotional needs are ignored. When authenticity creates tension. When love feels conditional. The child adapts. Instead of expressing genuine emotion, they present a version that maintains connection. The false self is not evil. It's protective armor. But armor is meant for battle, not for daily life. The problem begins when the armor fuses to the skin. When the performance becomes automatic. When you no longer remember what you're protecting. Attachment theory helps explain why this happens. As infants, we rely entirely on caregivers for survival. Our nervous systems calibrate themselves based on those interactions. If caregivers respond consistently and warmly, the child's brain learns, I am safe as I am. But if love feels unpredictable, or approval depends on behavior, the brain encodes a different message. Connection depends on adjustment. This message becomes a schema, a deeply embedded mental blueprint. Schemas operate below awareness. They shape perception automatically. So when you enter a room today, your brain still runs that early blueprint. Scan the environment. Assess emotional temperature. Modify accordingly. You are not consciously choosing this. Your nervous system is. Your brain is a prediction machine. It constantly asks, what response will minimize threat? The amygdala flags potential rejection as danger. Social exclusion activates similar neural pathways as physical pain. The prefrontal cortex calculates strategies. It asks what behavior reduces risk. The mirror neuron system maps other people's expressions and emotions. This allows you to sync, to match, to blend. Healthy attunement builds connection, but hypertunement erodes boundaries. You become more focused on regulating others' perceptions than expressing internal truth. And here's the critical